Why, hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I am your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, as always, my friends. So today, I would like to talk about, if you're new or you've been here a long time on my channel, why is the Lord of the Rings Online that you're seeing behind me a masterclass in the way that all Lord of the Ring games should be made in the future? Alright, why am I talking about this in this video today? Well, there's a lot of information coming out that Middle-earth Enterprises has just announced that they're going to be trying to make a lot of new Lord of the Rings games. Many different genres, many different things, okay? Real quick, right off the bat, for a couple of you, the Standing Stones team who runs the Lord of the Rings Online, that's been an MMO that's been around for 17 years, if you didn't know, it's a really good Lord of the Rings game. They already have put out a thing that that the higher-ups in Middle-earth Enterprises, CEOs, already said that Lord of the Rings Online will be keeping their license, and they'll let them continue to do Lord of the Rings Online, even if another MMO is made by Amazon Game Studios or any other gaming company or any other Lord of the Rings game. So that's already kind of been said by Standing Stones that they know that. So that's a positive thing. But here's why I think Lord of the Rings Online is a masterclass in how Lord of the Rings games should be made. Now, Lord of the Rings Online is 17 years old the time you're making this video. I still think it looks great. I still love it. I love the art style. I love the music. I love the gameplay. I love the community. Okay, well, before I just start listing off everything, let me just talk about, I think that a big thing that Lord of the Rings Online, one of the biggest points, I'll just get it right off the bat here, I think it comes down to lore and respecting of Tolkien, okay? So the Lord of the Rings Online definitely has made up stuff. There's no, I'm real quick to break down. For me, there are three kinds of things in Lord of the Rings lore. This is kind of how Star Wars does it too. There is canon, which is straight from Tolkien, either in notes or in his books, or maybe even Christopher Tolkien, right? I would put that into there. There's legends, which are things that are really make sense, that would fit in with what Tolkien said if he didn't say one thing in between, or something that just would make sense, that wouldn't contradict anything that Tolkien's writings. Legends are like very respected things, I would say. Then there are fan fictions, okay? Now, fan fictions could be respectful too of Tolkien, and they could not be, right? They could just be totally taking names, places, and whatever, right? That's not necessarily, okay, so what I'm saying now that you know those terminologies real quick, Lord of the Rings Online does a really good job of doing, I would say, legends and canon, okay? So they definitely, since they have the rights to the canon of the Hobbit books and the Return of the King, all three, the Fellowship, the Two Towers, the Return of the King, and the appendices, they've done an amazing job tying in your character along the main canon, right? Now, your character does stuff that would be like legends. It fits, it makes sense, but it wouldn't be in the stories because Tolkien never wrote about it. It's really well done, amazing. I highly recommend this game. That is a huge one. So in a masterclass for other future things, since we know that Middle-earth Enterprises has already told us that there is a plans to make many other Lord of the Rings games, whether that be new and updated MMOs. I would assume a new MMO would not be like a tab targeting style MMO. I would assume it would be some newer genre of MMO. It probably wouldn't be like Lord of the Rings Online or World of Warcraft or Guild Wars 2 or Final Fantasy, right? Those games, that's just a couple to throw out. I don't think they'll do that, which is this kind of classic game, which I love these kind of games. We cover that on the channel a lot. But I think what they'll end up doing is they'll probably look for more newer styles of MMOs, right? Maybe more like New World, since it would probably be Amazon Studios that would be making it, right? Whether you like or don't like, that's not the important part. But here's the thing that I think Middle-earth Enterprises has to remember, is the respecting of certain lore points, okay? Now, if it's fun for a game and you change something for a game slightly, people are going to that'll be no issue, right? For example, of something that was changed, and I don't want to go into this too much, but for example of something from a TV show with the Amazon Rings of Power TV show season 1, the way they did the mithril and that like the elves need it to survive, that is too far. Like, I would say that was like a fan fiction, right? You can enjoy it still, but that to me was like, oh, right? That was like, oh. So that's the kind of thing that you wouldn't want to do in a game, right? You wouldn't want to blow out the lore that much. That's just like going the opposite way, because it actually kind of like, there's a whole reason why I don't like it. One of the big reasons is they say that it's an elf essence mixed with a Balrog, and that's why it makes this. Well, Tolkien really liked the distinguishing of good and evil in his books. I think the fact that he's, mithril strong because it has Balrog essence too, would just make, he'd be so frustrated. That's my feeling. That's just my thought. But my point is, that's a comparison real quick for you for making games. you know, if they made a game where it was like, yeah, you need essence of, you know, Mithril to survive. What is it? This Dark Crystal or something? You remember that old Muppet show? So anyway, I don't think that's something good to go into, right? Into making new games. Now, is it fine to twist sometimes things for a game mechanic? Absolutely. They're gonna have to do some things, right? Just like the movies, you respect things like Peter Jackson. He definitely respects the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Is so well done that, yes, there are sad things that we're really disappointed that weren't in it, right? Gilgalad's not in it as much. He's right at the beginning. Glorfindel isn't in it at all, right? Kind of gets replaced by Arwen, even though Arwen's awesome. That whole part's really cool. Then there's no Tom Bombadil. Things like that, right? But they didn't need to be in there. If you look at it from a perspective of a movie and trying to make it linear storyline, it was good cutouts. Even though we're depressed as book lovers, are like, oh, we would like to see him. But it would have turned into a 10-movie show, you know, movie series instead of 3. But that's the thing that I think that's important though with Lord of the Rings Online or any MMO, is that when you make those games, or if it's an MMO or if it's any game, the masterclass that LOTRO teaches us is you have to respect some things. You have to lay down parameters for yourself, right? And it's funny because the Return to Moria did this. Return to Moria goes a little bit more outside some stuff, but they very clearly, when I was talking to the main dev for that game, they very clearly had parameters that were like, we cannot go over this line because we feel like it would be disrespecting Tolkien's lore, it would contradict, that kind of thing, right? That's what people need to do. That's the masterclass you need to learn from Lord of the Rings Online. Obviously, Return to Moria, they did it right? Like, and I know that some of them already knew about the Lord of the Rings Online, even though they didn't play it. But it's really, they took the right choices in Return to Moria. So in the Lord of the Rings Online, it's a masterclass. Another thing, music. All right, this is a huge one in any video game for me. Music, okay? So right now, what you're hearing is it's kind of just background music in the Lord of the Rings Online here. And it is from Chance Thomas. I have interviewed him on the channel as well on the Inklings playlist if you want to check that out sometime. He's a great composer. It's an honor that I can call him a friend. He's a fantastic guy. He has made Lord of the Rings music come to life in many Lord of the Rings games over the years. So, you know, maybe reach out to Chance Thomas at Middle-earth Enterprises and go get him to write you some music for a new game, because I think he does a fantastic job. So anyway, that's really important. Music, okay? So again, respecting the lore, I think, is number one. It's huge. Music is extremely important in any game. I've always been under the impression that music is 50% of a game. If music is really bad in a game, unless your gameplay is excellent, people probably are going to not like it as much, okay? So, but the Lord of the Rings Online then also has really fun gameplay if you're into the tab targeting style gameplay. Lord of the Rings Online is also another thing, so they've really done a really good job with the gameplay. They've learned what their strengths are. This is something that every game should understand. What are you aiming for? What are your strengths in that game? Is your game based on PvP, right? Player versus, or in Lord of the Rings, it's monster play. Player versus monster player, player versus player. Is your game based on PvE, player versus the environment, which is more like Lord of the Rings Online, which also focuses heavily on storytelling with the gameplay, okay? Storytelling is huge. In any game, I think storytelling is important, and if it's a Lord of the Rings game, no matter the genre, I think storytelling is extremely important, even more so, because we already hold it to higher standards as players and readers and viewers of games, movies, and TV shows, writing books. That's a really important one, I think. It's really, really important that you respect the storytelling as well, right? Now again, can you divert slightly from original story and make your own story stuff? Absolutely. Lord of the Rings does it online all the time, and they do it fantastic. It's always respectful to Tolkien, and if it's a slight diversion, it's usually oh, that would make sense in the world. Another thing is there's a lot of other species, creatures in Lord of the Rings Online that you don't hear about from Tolkien, which all fit and make sense in Middle-earth, right? Now again, are those kind of more fan-fiction-y or legend-y? Yes, of course they are. But Lord of the Rings does it in a way that doesn't destroy any original lore, right? It's oh yeah, that's believable. Those, like the Earthkin in Lord of the Rings Online. They're like a huge giant race, but they're not giants, because there are giants still, like Tolkien said, like human giants in this too. No, they are not giant rock monsters like in the Hobbit movies, but even though they looked cool in the Hobbit movies, but not really exactly probably right. But that's okay, moving on from that. So anyway, another big thing then I would say for Lord of the Rings Online is the gameplay. Right? How it feels, how you do things. Again, this is a tab targeting game. So MMO kind of style. If you're a different kind of game, it's going to be different. If it's a cozy game like the new Shire Tales that's coming out, it's going to be very different, right? So you need to focus on your gameplay. Obviously, that has to be fun. That's a given. I think another big masterclass from the Lord of the Rings Online that's super important, okay? This one's so important for everybody, is Lord of the Rings Online does not shove advertisements in your face, like at all, right? When you come online, you don't see a bunch of pop-ups like a lot of phone games do and other things. And also, it's very respectful in the way they do stuff. For like a lot of the stuff when they make money is cosmetic. I think that's always a good thing to do. There's not really like passes, like that's been a big thing. Now, knowing any newer game, they'll probably do some kind of pass thing, right? In any new MMO or something. That's up to them. I think they shouldn't do that. I think they should look to having extra bonuses with a subscription. That's what Lord of the Rings Online does, right? If you subscribe for the monthly thing, Lord of the Rings Online has kept their same subscription price for 17 years. That's impressive to me. And how they do it to make other money is cosmetics, helpful things, convenience, those kind of things. And make sure when you make the game that you don't make it so hard to play in the free-to-play version that you have to get the convenience thing, right? It's got to be like just to save your time, you know, and make it more fun. You still should be able to enjoy a streamlined game without paying for it if it's considered free to play, right? Which a lot of games aren't. A lot of them are free to play gotcha with the hook, right? Lord of the Rings Online is not, by the way. That's why it's a masterclass in this stuff. Lord of the Rings Online has a great free to play system that you can play 1,000 hours, enjoy the game, and get all the way up to like, I think level, what is it, like 100? And then if you do deeds, you can earn points to buy the new next area quest packs, which by the way, you can walk into still. You just won't be able to do the quests until you get the quest pack or whatever. And then if you're a VIP or a subscriber, you get all the way up to the newest expansion, close to the top of the level, which in this case is a level 150 at the time I'm making this video. Again, great game. They're always improving. Another huge one is the community. Building a good community in the game. I really think one thing that's really important with Masterclass that Lord of the Rings Online does well is that they talk to their community, okay? The devs of this game are awesome. They listen, they talk to their community. By the way, this is a lot like Return to Moria too. They listen to their community, they talk. That's really important. I cannot stress that enough, all right? So if they need to have a team, whoever makes new Lord of the Rings games, have a team that actually talks to the community, see what they want, see what they're feeling, right? Again, you can still, you're in charge if you're making the game, you're the company, you still get to choose. But listen to them, try to at least humor people, right? It's really going to make people enjoy the new games more when they come out. So that's to Middle-earth Enterprises. I really think that'll help you guys to really listen to your community, because Lord of the Rings Online does a really good job with that. Excellent work. So pretty much, that's a lot of the main points I wanted to cover in this video. So it's a pretty good game. Lord of the Rings Online, again, is a masterclass in being a good game. No pay to win. That's a big one, right? That really, to me, like, if there's a new MMO style or something, don't make it where you have to buy the newest thing to be able to be, like, competitive in PvP or something. That's not good. That's not good. That's not conducive to, like, good communities either. Lord of the Rings Online has a wonderful, big community. By the way, 50,000+ people play this on average. And then it pops up in the 100,000s with expansions and stuff. Like every MMO, they kind of like have whoop waves ups and downs. But it's such a wonderful community. I'm trying to build a wonderful community here on my channel. So if you ever want to join us in the server, we're on the server world CrickHollow in Lord of the Rings Online. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join my Discord. You go to voiceoftherings.com down there. It's on my social media tab to join Discord. It's really a fun game, great community. So I'm trying to build a great community here on my channel. I'm trying to build a good community in my Kinship, and the worlds of Lord of the Rings Online have wonderful communities. And again, I'm on the world's CrickHollow, and they have been consistently, here's another thing from the master class from Lord of the Rings Online, consistently updating things all the time. They don't just do massive updates all the time, they will, but that's once every couple months they'll do something like that. But there will be like texture updates, right? Like things they've been constantly updating and upgrading as technology gets better and they're able to upgrade this engine better. They've been upgrading visuals, areas, and like you won't even realize. You'll go, they won't even like really say anything, but it might be in the little notes in the patch notes, and you'll walk into an area and you'll be like, "What? Wait, this place always looked pretty, but where did all these new like bushes come from? And wow, the textures look better." Things like that. They're like constantly doing little things like that, and then they have the big updates as well. It's a fantastic game. I think that's probably what I want to do. I'm going to keep the video within 15 minutes, and I did it, I think. I'll probably watch this video later with a review, and remember there's one more thing I wanted to say. But, you know, that's how it goes. I think you guys kind of understand my thought patterns on this, why Lord of the Rings Online is a masterclass when it comes to making Lord of the Rings games. And again, remember, sure, you can take the one-for-one style of doing an updated, different version of MMO, take examples from this game. But I'm talking about any Lord of the Rings game, right? All these things apply to any Lord of the Rings games. Good communication from the devs with their community, good gameplay, good respecting of Tolkien's lore, even if it is going outside the lore. Players and people that watch TV shows and movies, for me personally, my feeling is we care quite a bit that the lore is followed to an extent. But if you do it in a way that's respectful and makes sense and is fun in a game where it's enjoyable to play, helps the gameplay, people are going to say no big deal, right? As long as the rest is good. If you completely disregard lore, completely, and just make your own, basically, fan fiction up inside with named places of Middle-earth, that's when people are probably not going to like it as much. And even if your gameplay's really good and your music's good, you might still get people who play, but you're going to have a lot of people who are hardcore fans of Tolkien that are not going to like that, right? And of course, I'm going to review things no matter what because I'm a Tolkien channel, but I will give you my opinions. I'm usually very positive opinions, but there will be times that I might be like, I don't like this, right? You guys all know that I'm pretty darn fair on this channel with my reviews, but on things, whether it be TV shows, movies, video games, all that kind of stuff. But Lord of the Rings Online, that's really important to keep the lore. Even if you make it kind of fan fiction-y in some places in a video game, do it in a way that seems real, more like Legends. Like it'll fit into Tolkien's canon to an extent, right? It's not direct one-for-one, against Tolkien's canon. Or something which totally not make sense. I also get creativity, right? There might be times where they make creative options for characters so that you can make yourself look like that character no matter what, that maybe wouldn't fit into the lore, right, of where those people are from or where you're making your character. But the bottom line is, that's creativity for you as a player, because you want to look like you're in Middle-earth, whatever game it is. It doesn't have to be just an MMO. It could be any game that you make a little character. I think that's a totally fine thing on the side, right? So I think that's really cool. I think that things that could be respected are things too, like, if orcs, right? Like World of Warcraft, orcs are more like just another race. They can be good or bad. They usually tend to be more evil, but they can usually be good or bad. Lord of the Rings Online, orcs are pretty much flat evil. I have a video on this on my lore playlist. They really don't have much. They're just pretty much all polarized to evil. There's really not, like, they might work with you to get something for themselves, but they will then eat you. You know what I'm saying? They're very evil. They're very monstrous, right? I think that's something good. If a game came out, it was like, yeah, you play as an orc, and like it's like World of Warcraft where you just like talking to people and you're all normal. That would be lore destroying, right? Of Lord of the Rings, any Lord of the Rings game. So unless it's a joke, but yeah, you get my point. That's just an example. So anyway, my friends, have a great and wonderful day in Middle-earth. Thank you to my Patreons for their support. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe button's there if I earned it. Like it, leave a comment. I'd love to hear you have anything you want to add about the masterclass of Lord of the Rings Online that maybe I missed or something. You leave a comment down there, I'll like it. Next video will be up there for things like this, and over there will be a LOTRO tale where I do voiceovers in the Lord of the Rings Online. So you guys have a great day. Stay happy, my friends. Lord of the Rings Online is a masterclass in how any Lord of the Rings game should be made. I think Return to Moria follows it up pretty well, as in some of these points I pointed out. Good communication, good devs that communicate, right? Good gameplay, good music, good lore respecting, even the stuff that's a little bit made up fits into the world, that kind of stuff. Those four are really huge points for me. And also it's good if there's a nice community around the game, but that's something that comes with all those other territories, I think. And then of course, way they monetize the game, money things, that's important, right? You need to make money as a company, and I'm definitely not against people making money, companies, right? Because if they make money, that means they can make more games for us, give us more updates, blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? I mean, I'm someone who definitely I understand economics in that way, but at the same time, you gotta be respectful to your your buyers, right? Your game players and stuff like that. So, and I think that I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and a positive thumbs up that the Middle Earth Enterprises and Warner Brothers will see that. So, thanks so much, and thank you Warner Brothers and all them if making sure Lord of the Rings Online keeps its license too. So, but I'm pretty sure Standing Stone's already said, the owners of this game, which by the way, Standing Stones, you do a fantastic job with Lord of the Rings Online. That's why I made this video. All right, that's why I made this video. You do a fantastic job. They really did a good job. Turbine used to own a long time ago. Some people from Turbine came over to Standing Stone's team, but then a lot of new people took over Standing Stone's team many, like 9 years ago now, something like that. And they've done a great job. They really are trying their best to keep things going and story plots moving and new expansions, new things. They're gonna add a new thing, right? Keeping up with the times if you're an MMO, that's a big one, right? As an older MMO, Lord of the Rings Online is, they keep doing stuff that keeps it up with the times. It's fantastic. They're going to do something where it lets you, all your levels, connect to the world. Like what area you want. So if you're leveling with your friend and you don't want to bring like a new character over to play with them, you're like, oh, I'm off by 4 levels. You can set your character and it will scale you down to the area you're in so you can help your friend and not just destroy everything. You're not a 150 walking around killing everything one hit. You can scale down to a level 20, right? Just for that, and turn it off and on, and just for you as a character. That's cool. So anyway, more on that in the future. I'll cover that as well. Have a great day in Middle-earth, my friends. Thank you for listening. So again, good job, Standing Stones, and good job, Lord of the Rings Online. Hey, look, another friendly dwarf here. My space. All right, guys. So again, such a good class. This Lord of the Rings Online, a master class in how you should make a Lord of the Rings game, and really a game in general. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there too. Any video game in general, Lord of the Rings Online is a good example of a good video game, an MMO. So, see you in the next one, my friends. Stay happy. Baruch Hazard, cool Zard, I menu.